Hello, and welcome back to Cordially Invited, where you're cordially invited to watch us attempt to play some D&D 5e. If you are rejoining us, you may notice a little bit of change of my background because I'm in a clearly different place. So I'm surrounded by too much math. I'm working a summer job, so we're here. And it's a little bit of a different format. We have pre-recorded this, so we're coming from you from the past, or
into the future.
Into the future.
Our future.
Yes, cordially invited to into the future.
Not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
You know, I haven't played with time travel things yet, but you never know. Never know. But yes, we wanted to make sure that we gave you guys some good old content on our normal day. But feel free to continue to pop stuff in the chat. I'm sure one of us will be there on the premiere date when you guys are watching it right now. And so we'll hang out, we'll chill, it'll be great. And we can all watch ourselves play D&D, maybe. I don't know if you guys have the thing of like listening to your own voice.
Yes.
Sounds very weird. Yeah. It's a whole time. If you are rejoining us, then you of course know where we left off. But we've got we got to pick up from an interesting place. Before I do that, Scott, do we have any other announcements?
Just a reminder for everyone that there are, if you are watching, while you're watching, you can see our changes in our D&D Beyond. I guess that wouldn't work for a pre-recorded show, but usually our D&D Beyond character sheets are down in the description. You can always find those there. There's links to our Discord down there as well. The Dice Cult has all kinds of great shows you can watch throughout the week. And I feel like there's something else. Oh yes, the Notion site, which is kind of a start of a wiki. Very bare bones at the moment, but it's slowly getting some content in there. So if you have any information you want to know about any of the shows on the Dice Cult, Twitch or YouTube, you can find it all in the description down below.
Yeah.
Awesome. So last time, y'all made it back to the palace. Post drinks with the Granite Breaker brothers. Oh, that's a hard thing for me to say. Granite Breaker brothers. Slow down on that one. I made their name. I should be able to say it. Y'all were drinking, relaxing in the kitchens because you already did the difficult thing, right? Only to be interrupted by a noble, a person. No, he was made of worms. And quickly went to go attack Ren, the serving girl who had been friendly with Dove. Only weirdly, like, she was back to being friendly and not so sad. And before you could ask her anything about that, the worm man attacked. With some tentacle boys. So a rather exciting evening. After a truly precarious fight where I think I got Premac down once.
Almost.
Very close.
Very close.
No, he went down. And
I did go down, and you got healing.
Yes, and then you immediately got back up. So I couldn't. I don't know that we've had a death saving throw yet.
I don't think so. No.
You know,
we've done pretty good on that front.
Due to my orcish-ness, I can pop back up. So I've gone down a couple times, but then
yes, but I think you've always popped back up.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe I'm just not challenging you all enough, and I need to start really challenging you. And obviously you don't need to worry about any challenges, because as soon as the fight was over, you were going to start investigating where these aberrations had come from. Dove went to investigate, and follow her sense of aberrations through the palace. Now that you all have leveled up, last time, not at the end of last time, but you were freshly leveled up the last time. Dove has a new favorite terrain, which is the urban, sort of like the city, which makes sense. And so, you know, very in tune with the palace, followed the aberration up to the old Archmage's Tower, which is mainly used for storage here in Sylvar. They don't really like magic as much. Managed to make it up to the 4th story where the ping was, and nothing was there. Absolutely nothing was there, despite some interesting times attempting to find out what she was feeling there. You didn't find anything. And in fact, when 2 guards came up to also investigate, y'all scattered. And then, the only guard that had come up the stairs, the other having in the meta disappeared. And y'all have no memory of him ever coming up there. It's just the one guy. Which is becoming this is a very confusing night happening for all 3 of you. Only made worse because as soon as we were ready to end, Premac's hand, where the scar from his, how many infections has it been now? Premac, 3? 2? Yeah. A distinct amount of like weird fey aberration infections have happened to Premac. But the one you got from the undead dryad on your hand was burning, which is a little bit of a problem because I'm pretty sure Premac is hanging out of the window, like on the outside of the window,
Yep.
where you had climbed up.
About 30 feet up? Third story, is it?
4th story.
4th story. Of course.
Yeah. Dove was out. We went down the servant's entrance, and you were just going.
I didn't even see any soldiers. No soldiers at all.
No, you have no idea. Neve was.
I have no idea either. There's one guard came up, one guard left. I hid behind a statue. Everything's good.
Yeah, everything is totally fine.
I'm invisible.
You're invisible. They did not see you, or he did not see you. Right. It's the only guard. It's the one guard.
Yeah.
Only one. No one has to worry about anything else. And then Premac's outside, clinging to the windowsill, 4 stories up.
Without having taken a short rest or anything since the last fight with low hit points. Yes.
Yeah, so, luckily I think Premac's fine with athletics and acrobatics checks to get back down. I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. But yeah, you all have had a very interesting evening. It is getting pretty late now. And I believe you mentioned to Ren that you would, multiple things are happening. Ren is going to meet you at some point tomorrow. Tristan is also going to meet you at some point tomorrow. He was supposed to be asking around for help telling you about the upcoming second trial for the wedding. That you all know that like the princess is involved, maybe involved, but the prince definitely is. And you have a few clues as to what that trial is, but you sent Tristan to go get more information. And I believe Lord Nolan also is very thankful for the final dispel magic that helped him break free of some of the magical
trying with those dispel magics. I'm really trying.
It worked out in the end. I think it took 4.
Well, and it also was a struggle for Premac too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. We, it's a hard spell. We just gotta really do some practice.
I just learned it. I'm really, it's.
Yeah.
You're just so good at making magic. Taking it away is it's much harder. It's a different
unnatural.
Yeah.
Much harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not in your nature to take magic away. Only put more magic and chaos into the world.
Yeah.
You gotta find another type of spell that you just overload it with magic and it pops. Yeah.
Oh
but
boy.
That is where we are in the old Archmage's Tower with Premac clinging to the window, hand burning, Neve invisible on the landing, and Dove just not aware of any of this, just going down the stairs.
No, going down the stairs angry. Bad
Very
mood.
angry. Actually, I will say, Dove, did you roll that intelligence check at the end? I don't think you did because you weren't there.
No, I wasn't there. Yeah, I never did.
I will say
I walked away.
Yeah, Dove, but you heard 2 feet going up.
I did.
Stairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did hear 2 feet going up.
So 2 feet went up. The others, we'll find out. So Dove, where are you going? You're gonna reach the bottom of the stairs. Are you gonna wait for the others?
Well, I saw Neve do the invisibility thing, so I'm assuming they could be just right beside me and I wouldn't know. And that is the case when they're visible too, because I just can't tell sometimes. Premac was on the wall, so I guess maybe I'll find a place to like hide myself slightly and look up on the tower to see if I can still see Premac, because that would be easier.
Yeah, the Granite Breaker brothers were by the entrance of the tower, like before going into the actual place. So are you staying on the bottom landing, or are you just going through the door to wait outside?
Yeah, I'll go outside.
Okay.
I'll go outside, meet up with them, and look to see if Premac is still hanging on if he's just still hanging out, I will maybe I'll figure out a way to catch him. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll say you come down the stairs, you make it through the landing. You definitely hear some noise from up the main stairwell. But as you leave that main door, you see the Granite Breaker brothers like around a corner being like, come on, like come this way. And can sort of like duck back there, and they have a good view out one of the windows where you can look up to see Premac. I will say it's dark, but Premac is sort of up against a window. Premac, are you attempting to stealth?
As Premac is hanging there, I was trying to hide from people inside the tower, not outside the tower. So as I'm hanging there, though, the hand burning is suddenly a problem. So it would be like there would probably be a sound for sure, but he would be trying to duck down below the windowsill, and probably his tail is like reaching. I have like a 10-foot reach, so trying to reach down to grab onto something to prop himself up on something down below with his tail as he's trying to figure out what's going on with his hand.
Cool. Are you going to start heading down?
I would check. Did I see where Neve went?
Neve is invisible.
So I didn't. So I don't know Neve has left. All I know is...
You know Dove is left.
I know Dove is left, but Dove was acting weird.
Dove was frustrated, for sure.
Yeah. Dove left. I know Dove was headed back down. I don't know where Neve is.
I think you know Neve is invisible, though. That was broadcast to the group before they went inside.
Well, you knew I was...
Weren't you visible for a moment?
Well, yeah.
I was visible for a moment. It would just... Because I cast Fairy Fire.
Oh, yes.
Dove.
There were multiple fairy fires.
There were multiple fairy fires. And then I immediately went back invisible again, so... You probably saw me cast the spell.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's but it's now I don't know if I should leave if I don't know where you are.
Yeah, you don't know where Neve is now.
Yeah. So Premac is not going to try to immediately climb down because he saw Olivia could have just... Did I just say Olivia? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You did. Wow, that was a throwback.
Different game.
Wow, goodness. I was like, whoa.
Wow. Blast with
Crossover event.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Bird might just be hiding around a corner planning on coming back. So Premac is going to try to just cling here, waiting until there's something that directs him to either come in again or to leave.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I have... I think we can... I think it can be established that Bird would have a number of calls that she's taught the other birds. The calls could be like, time to begin the performance, or break time, or this or that, just like basic stuff. So can I have them begin calling like break time? Like, let's stop, let's go home, break time.
Yes.
Just to like notify. At least Neve would understand. Premac would maybe have if he can maybe have picked it up through the multiple performances we've done and the practices we've done. But that's up to him if he's caught that. But Okay, let's let them know it's time to get back. I don't know where they are, so great time, everyone. Let's tell the others, and they'll go around and begin tweeting the break time song.
The break song.
Yeah.
Which goes like.
Oh no.
Beep 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 beep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Do the birds make the beeps?
Yeah, it's more of a it's not yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. It's a whistling beep.
Can I real quick get a refresher on this landing that I'm hiding in currently?
Yes. So the landing it's about like 90 feet around. There's a back hallway where you sort of duck behind a statue sort of next to that hallway because you wanted to get away from the main doors that are across. That back hallway has a couple rooms. There's like 4 rooms down it, and one of them is where you saw Dove go into, presumably to go down the servants' entrance. And then there's the sort of double doors that you came through that is the main stairwell down. There's some statues, there's some furniture kind of covered with linen for storage, and there's some crates. And you sort of watched the guard do a circle, kind of poke his head down the hallway, and then start heading back down towards the double doors to go down the stairs, the main stairs.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I know the thing to do is to leave, but Neve has no idea that there is something wrong happening at all. And I'm still curious about, like, the location in general. Like, I kind of want to just poke around a little bit. Can I see what's in one of the crates, or poke in, like, what's in one of the rooms, and just, like, kind of do a general, what is this place?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Yeah, real good at that.
If you could just tell me, because I can't see my
That's a
little screen.
2.
Okay. Yeah, with a 2, I will say you can find. You open up one of the crates once the guard is gone, and you can see there are books in the storage. You can't really tell what they are. They're very covered in dust. You in fact sneeze a little too many times and immediately have to okay, we're not that great. And you can like take off some of the covers of the statues. They look fairly like you've seen statues in the Great Hall where the feast was. Those looked like they were well taken care of and they were purposeful. These look a little generic. You do see one, I will say, even with a 2, this is not hard to find. The largest of them, which is clearly like one you would want to uncover, the largest statue is an elven woman who has a replica statue down in the Great Hall.
Okay.
She had a staff and armor, and is presumably some important historical figure to something.
Yeah. I think rather than like actually uncover them, I'm probably like lifting it up and peering up under the things. So I'm like, that's a thigh, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like sort of. I can make out skirts and like
it's a
hands and like they're posed, but otherwise whatever. The other ones, they just look like statues. Like you've seen like humans statues before. They're sort of boring. There's nothing exciting that you're finding in the landing.
For sure. If I try one of the doors that Dove did not go down, is it locked or unlocked?
There's 3 other doors. So if you're like going down the hallway, there's 2 doors on the right and 2 doors on the left.
Yeah.
I don't know if my camera is mirrored, so I don't know if I did that correctly. Dove went back on the very back right-hand door. And so just tell me which one you're trying.
Probably just like go to the first on the right, first on the left, last on the left, and then like just kind of like test the doorknob, see if it'll open, and if it does, just like a peek in.
Okay.
And if the door is not too like creaky loud, if it does, I'll just leave it and move on.
Yeah. I will say the first door on the right opens, inside it's like a bunch of furniture and paintings that are sort of just like leaned up against the walls and in stacks. There's like various random furniture that looks like it's supposed to be used to furnish some of the guest rooms. It looks like there is furniture missing because there are more guests in the palace, so they're there. The first door on the left is open. It is mainly empty. There are 3 sort of different shaped mirrors. One is hanging on the wall, but sort of half covered with a piece of linen, and then there's 2 across from each other that are like very tall, about like 10 feet tall, and they're just leaning up against the opposite walls.
Right.
And the last door on the left is locked.
Okay. I will go to the one on the one that Dove went into and try to find the service stairs.
Okay.
Still not sure that I'm leaving yet, but if anyone else wants to do something before I, go off on a tangent.
I will say, are you still invisible?
Yes, I'm still invisible.
You absolutely, Premac, I will say, from your vantage point in the window, you watch as like the linen lifts and like crate opens. You watch dust sort of poof as you hear a sneeze, and then everything gets moved back, and then you see the back door to the hallway open, and then the other doors start moving, and I feel like you can pretty much imagine that this is Neve. It's not an issue.
Prints in the dust, like little tiny paw pads.
Yes. Little tiny.
I feel like Neve's stealth is enough that they would you would see the paw prints and you see a tail like swish by and remove them, so you can track it as they go. But then it's like it's not visible for the next person to come through.
Yeah.
So he would pick up on that. While I'm clinging here and watching, the mark on his hand, is it visible? Is it just a burning feeling? Is there any change to it visually?
The scar on your hand, it was burning pretty heavily when you were looking in at the one guard. Now it's definitely faded. It was like a brief stab, and then it slowly started fading. The scar has always been sort of hard for you to see. Not like it's there. Like if you moved your hand over it, you could clearly feel it. But it's always like you look at it and your eyes just sort of slide right off. It's hard for you to focus on the symbol. And you have heard when you were asking the Granite Breaker brothers about it, and I believe you were also talking to a Raven about what the symbol means. That the name, it's really hard for you to remember the name. But it has to do with the undead dryad. You know that it was something bad. And if you wanted to try and remember the name that you have been given for what it means, you can attempt to do a history check. But
I would love to.
Yeah, it's specifically Premac just has to do a history check to see if he can remember.
Okay, all right. That is an 8.
No. You're like, it's no, you got nothing.
Must have been in Dwarvish. Another language I need to learn. Yes, all right.
I think you've been specifically told it's not Dwarvish too. But I like
remembering.
Yeah.
He's rationalizing why he can't remember it at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like you vaguely now remember enough of like what Sylvan looks like from being in the forest and seeing and hearing from Bird and Neve. But yeah, it's real frustrating. But you got nothing on it. So you're watching as Neve is sort of making their way back. And opens that last door that Dove had gone down.
Right.
And you're still on the windowsill. And you would hear as you're watching that how did it go, Abby?
Beep 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 beep. I think.
Yeah, so you would hear that and some chittering birds saying
Okay. I think I would recognize by now some of the basic bird things. I mean, that's Premac
Yes.
likes to watch people, so I think he would recognize that. And also seeing the door where Neve is, assuming that Neve's going to find her way out of here, their way out of here, he would start heading down the side of the building.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and give me athletics to get down the side.
30.
Oh my
Oh, damn. Nice.
Yeah, you're fine.
What did you roll to get that?
20 plus 10.
Oh, and that's 20. Okay,
Nice.
I'll do it.
I mean, I didn't want to brag, so
Yeah. Oh,
thanks
yeah,
for asking.
Beautiful. Love the nat 20 on that. Yeah, you get down, no problem. The burn hand is annoying, but it's not any issue for you. And you manage to kind of scamper across the little insular courtyard that you had gone across back to the window where you see the Granite Breaker brothers and Dove sort of like waiting. And they'll slide open the window for you to hop back in.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here. I see we're not all here. What are we worried about? Neve.
Oh, well, I thought they'd be just...
Menaquin. It's a smile.
Yes, I thought she'd just be in the area as it's invisible.
Like, you see one of the Granite Breaker brothers, like...
I do a very light glaive spin around my 10-foot reach.
Premac will join with his tail. We're all just
We all start spinning.
I will say, as all of them start spinning, Neve, you come down the stairs.
No,
and...
I'm not leaving yet.
Oh no!
Okay,
Now
you're
we're
just
just
in the
spinning.
room, right?
Okay, here's the
services
thing.
is?
So here's the thing. From my perspective, Dove said there was something in the tower. It was most likely at the top room. I went up all the way to the top hearing nothing. Until I heard Dove yelling on the 4th floor. And I went all the way back down to the 4th floor to see her throwing fairy fire and shit. And I threw one, nothing happened. The guards came, nothing weird happened there. I popped off another invisibility. I never got into the room at the top floor.
Yeah, you did not.
So I'm going back up to the top floor to see what the fuck is up there.
Perfect. Yeah, so you absolutely go back. Are you going up the servants' stairs?
Yeah, I'm going up the servants' stairs this time.
You start going up. I will say, as the rest of you are just spinning, you watch as that guard comes out and is like, you guys are sort of around a corner and he's walking by. I'm gonna roll for him really quickly. He's walking by, and as he goes past, you just
practicing our performances.
He's watching this group of 2 dwarves, a dragonborn, and a half orc just spinning, and he goes, "Not my problem."
Me and Premac both have a 20-foot spin range. So we've got a huge amount of space taken up by our spins.
Yeah.
If there's any invisible creatures, we found them.
Yeah.
You hear a little bit of
a decent tactic. We should remember this for the future.
Yes. Maybe we could do some kind of performance. And I don't know. I'll have to consider.
Yeah, you hear
I'm
like
getting
a
a little
muttered, just entertainers, and he just goes and keeps walking. So, Neve, you are going back up the stairs. The tower's about 8 stories, and you had gotten to the main landing of the 8th story, but you hadn't gone in. I will say the servant stairs takes you to an almost identical setup of a back staircase with 4 rooms, and there now is like a larger landing that would connect to the main stairs. But the servants' doors will spit you out into one of those rooms. It looks fairly similar to the ones on the 4th floor, just different boxes. There are some barrels. There's like a rack that looks like it should be holding weapons, either like great swords or staffs or something tall. and you see what else would be in that room. There's also a couple like glass display cases that are just open and empty, and pretty dusty. Like they would have been in another room, but they're just empty now.
Is it like dusty, like all the shelves are dusty, or is there like there was something on it and it was removed recently and there is like an imprint in the dust of where it used to be?
Everything's pretty dusty in this room. It doesn't look like anyone's been up here in a while. There's sort of like a path along the floor where you can see on either end of the rug that's stretched out here that it looks like some people have walked up here, but it's been a while. So where are you going on the 8th floor of the Archmage's Tower?
I am, once again, just kind of being nosy, just like going out into the hallway, opening the doors, doing a quick, like, you know, what kind of stuff is in here, through all of the little hallway and the main landing. And then I want to stop and look out the window when I'm done with that.
Okay. The main landing does look different here.
Okay.
I will say there are 2 locked doors on this one. The 2 left side doors are locked. The right side doors, which is the servant's entrance storage room that you're coming out of, and that first one are open. And that first one is just another storage room. There seems to be like a broken mirror up here. This one more looks like there's a bunch of broken stuff that they're just sort of shoving up here. There's also a big armoire, like a wardrobe in the back that's closed. And the other
if
2
the
doors
armoire looks interesting, I will open it to see what's inside.
Yeah, give me an investigation.
We'll see if I can do better than the 2.
Yeah. I'm sure there will be one. At least
nope, that's a 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
you open it and there's like a couple moths that fly out and you're like
yeah, and I just shut it and I'm moving on.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm very tired after the day. It's been
so
long.
much stuff around me. I'm just like, it's free reign up here, and I'm like,
yeah. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of it's sort of like, ooh, interesting. No, not interesting. Very quickly decide. You're also still a little jittery, so like heads on a swivel at all times.
Yeah.
Get a splinter in your paw and you can't think of anything else. You can't get
Yes.
Yeah,
Constantly like trying to pick.
breaks, I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah. But there are those 2 locked doors on the left side and then the main landing. If you'd like to get into the doors, you can try and pick the lock.
I am not committed enough to picking locks right now. I got a splinter and it's bugging me and I'm out of spells, so I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to go to the main landing.
Okay. The main landing is the same sort of circular room. It sort of takes up a bunch of space, but it's like a little bit back because there's railings so you can sort of look down the main stairs. There's a very sort of rich red and purple rug that's spread out over most of the floor here. It smells a little musty for sure, but this one sort of is set up almost like it was left here and people just left coverings over the furniture. There's bookshelves along the back of the wall on either side of where the door is for that hallway. There's books sort of lining that half circle. Bookshelves, I should say, lining that half circle. There's a couple cabinets at the ends of each that look sort of like those display cases, but they're closed and they're a little too dusty to see inside of from just standing in the room. In the center of the room is a pedestal that looks like a little podium, and on it is a pretty old book, and there seems to be like a couple stacks of books under it that is just like no one's been up here touching this stuff.
So does this look like, because I know this is the Tower of the Archmage, does this look like this was the Archmage's stuff that just got left up here?
Yeah, that's definitely what this sort of is like people have just sort of abandoned it. Go ahead and give me a history check. and I'll see what you might remember about this.
Oh, not bad. 16.
Yeah, a 16. You would know that as much as silver is not super magical nowadays, back during the Fairy Wars, it was absolutely, because they needed to fight magic with magic. And they had archmages just like Lys did, where the princess is from. But over the years, it sort of got very out of fashion, and people were a little like at magic after everything that they've had to deal with fairy magic.
Right.
And so the archmages kind of fell out of style. I would say with a 16, you remember that the last archmage of Sylvar was fired. Like they ended having an archmage. They were like, we don't want you anymore. And you don't remember where it was that people said he went off to, but he left in a huff, and that's why probably all of his stuff is here, or at least a lot of the stuff that he couldn't bring with him is here. And yeah, it was a little bit of a tense moment for Sylvar there, kicking out their archmage, who is pretty he was a pretty powerful guy, but he quickly became usurped by the high priest in Sylvar, not the keeper of Tierna, who Premac is familiar with, who is here. But I feel like Neve was told about the high priest who had been here, who Ren knew.
Yes.
Ren was the ward of the high priest.
Yeah, Ren was his ward for sure, and that's the death she forgot, was the high priest.
Yes.
I actually have exactly one first level slot left, so I'm gonna pop off a detect magic and just see what I see in this space.
Yeah. Let me pull up my table real quick. You pop off a detect magic, yes, and the bard detect magic lets you know the school, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Okay. You're getting a few very light pings around the room. There's a couple of books that feel magical. They feel like grimoires or spell books that have long since been abandoned. They feel kind of faded because no one's been using them, so they've just started to fade. In those display cases, you feel some light pings of stuff, both in the cases and in the cabinets under them. I'll say you can feel about 4 pings of something that actually feels like it still has some potency. And if you would like to go and do that, go and investigate where those are, I will give you an investigation with advantage. Because you know where they are around you.
Yes, for sure.
It's more how to get into the case.
Gotcha. Yeah, I will try to get into the case. That's a 19.
A 19!
Nice.
Yeah, you find all 4. You manage to figure out how to hook a claw under the lock of the case, and it just gets, and you can lift it. Inside of the first one, there is go ahead and roll me 2 D100s.
Ooh, okay. That is a 68 and a 67.
A 68 and a 67? Oh, that's perfect. My table stopped at 67, and then the next one's 68, so it's great.
Hey, there we go.
You find a stoppered potion bottle.
Okay.
I gotta see what school of magic it is. Oh, that's not helpful. Oh, there it is. I gotta look up the spell. It feels like divination magic.
Okay.
And if you were to spend some time, you could probably figure out what it is. And then you also find, in the other one, there is I now have to scroll back to my list. 68. Where's 68? You find there's a little pearl almost on a chain. But you would know that I feel like you probably would have already seen it, so you don't really need to know anything. As you pick it up, you're like, oh, this has got some magical energy to it, and it is a bead of force.
Ooh.
On the necklace.
Okay.
The cabinets under the display case, you open it up and you quickly feel it's very musty. It's like some old cracked leather, and you pull out a bag, and you quickly open it up and look in. It's completely pitch black in there, and you know this to be a bag of holding.
Interesting. Okay.
And it feels magical. It's kind of muddled because you've seen bags of holding before, but you can't. There's a lot of different like weird feelings coming out of the bag, and you can't tell. There might be stuff in there. There might not be stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then the last two on the other cabinet. Go ahead and roll me 2 more D100s.
Okay.
I'm just really.
Bird, I assume
title.
I assume that she's not here, but I'm getting a little bit tired of doing this, I think.
Yes, I believe we might need to. I mean, I believe I think I'm bleeding again. I'm going to be honest. There's a circle around me, and I may slip.
89 and 71.
89 in the display case, you find a little a very delicate kind of circlet that has, I believe it's also divination magic, but I need to find out. I need to just have the link to this. Yeah, it's also divination magic. And then the other one is a little like pot that has a stopper, and you pick it off, and you can clearly see like this kind of gooey gel. And you hear you feel the tug from your pocket, and Oli pokes his head up, and he's like, he's very excited by it, and would tell you that this is oil of slipperiness.
Oh.
Which is
Blue.
yeah, it is a will basically allow you to just have the effect of the grease spell if you put it on things.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's what you find.
Okay, I'm going to take all of these things. I'm also going to grab any books that have like faint magical auras to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of, however many I can grab in my arms, just no attention to like the title or what it is, just like magical grab.
Yeah, I'll say you can probably get about 5 of them in your arms. If you put the stuff in the bag of holding, you can probably grab a few more.
Since I don't know what's in the bag of holding, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, stuff in there, and my like, since I have the magical armor that shifts, I'm gonna be like, okay, change to the one that has the most pockets, shove some stuff in there, grab an armload of books. And then I want to go to the window and just kind of look out over the castle and just like, what do I see from this really high vantage point? Who's around? What's going on? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Your detect magic.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know shit about this. I'm investigating.
Your detect magic lasts 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
As you approach the window, you feel, as you get closer, that there has actually been magic cast on the window. It feels like illusion magic, and you quickly realize it's a slightly different color. Like looking out, you can still see everything out, but someone has cast something on this window. But you can still see the castle out of it.
Is it like a like if someone from outside the castle was looking in, they would not see this room? Gotcha.
Yeah. You would actually know, you've probably seen this tower before. From the outside, it looks like stained glass. But inside, it's just a normal window. It's nothing special. Okay. But as you sort of look out this larger window on the side, you can see most of the rest of the castle, there are 2 other towers on the opposite side of the castle. One is the King's Tower, and one would be the sort of like guests tower, the Lord's Tower, where he would keep the noble guests who come for court. You would know now that that's where the princess is sort of staying.
Mhm.
Some of the lights are on. It's now getting late enough that it's not many.
Yeah.
You don't see any real bustle outside. You do see some guards stationed on some of the parapets, on some of the battlements, and they're just standing. The torches are around them so they can sort of see, but it seems like mostly a calm evening. You don't really see anything happening outside. It's also pretty dark. So what you could make out, you're sort of going off of assumptions of what you've seen here in the evening before. I will say, if you look down, definitely across that little inner courtyard, you see like a lot of like the light is sort of flickering, and you can sort of make out a weird rotation movement happening at a couple different heights at the window. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my invisibility will have dropped because I cast detect magic, so I'm going to change my appearance to that of I guess the guard, the only guard that came up and went back down. I'm going to change my appearance to him, and I'm going to change my clothes to something a little bit less like flamboyant, just more like the mannequin's manager had like a kind of like tux, kind of slightly formal kind of looking outfit. Gonna change the clothes to that, and I'm going to pick up just like a random crate in addition to the books, and try to look like I am a servant moving shit around in the castle. And I'm gonna go back down the servant's exit, the servant's stairs.
Absolutely. You get down there. No one else, you don't hear anyone else in this side of the tower. You make it down to the main landing very easily, go across that main storage landing and out the door, and you can hear the commotion of I don't think they're here. Can we stop spinning?
I feel like you would see so the guard went by you guys. It was like, not my problem. And you would see the exact same guard walk by and just kind of like
You're
nod
back.
and keep moving
Decided
because the Granite Breaker brothers are there.
This is for you. Welcome back.
Huh?
I think I'm beginning to see double. We should definitely get back home. Mana's not coming back. I've lost a lot of blood, so I mean, if it's Prima, if that's all right, I'm sure she'll find us later.
Perhaps I'll stay here a little longer. I'll sit down though, and standing's not going so well at the moment.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go, and Bird kind of like lightly falls back into the birds, and then just kind of like hovers on a cloud of birds back towards the room.
Yes. I was in the Granite Breaker brothers go with you, and they're looking, and like one of them starts like just taking some notes. They're like, that would be so convenient. Very impressed by the bird flotation device that you have managed to finagle here. And you can go back to your quarters with them.
Yep.
Okay. Premek, you're staying with the guard. Neve, are you staying or going with
I
as a
would
guard?
probably act like the guard and walk away for a little bit, and then once the Granite Breaker brothers are gone, come back to Premac and assume Mannequin again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of drop the crate.
It's good to see you.
Sorry about that. My invisibility dropped.
Not in time for us to see where you had gone, unfortunately.
I went back up to the room and I found some things.
Interesting
things.
things.
Hold up the books.
Presumably.
Magic things.
Oh, this does sound interesting.
So let's go catch back up to Bird and Yes.
Yes. Perhaps, as we walk, do you need me to carry anything? You look a little, weighted. Seeing the things in your pockets and stuff.
I don't need this crate. I just grabbed it for the ruse, so I'm just gonna put that there in a little cubby. It's fine. You want to take some books? I can get some of these things out of my pockets.
Perfect. Take a couple things.
Yeah.
Wraps them up in his tail, and then as we begin walking, so what happened up on when you were invisible up there? You know what? We will discuss that once we return to Bird. I have something I'd like to ask you about, because I seem to be forgetting. This scar here on my hand.
Yes.
It began to burn quite painfully up there, and I wonder if perhaps you might remember why that might have occurred.
I don't know exactly, but I don't think it's anything good. Let's go back to Bird. Let's go back to Bird, and we'll talk about this more. Okay.
That's fair.
Hurry along after Bird.
Yeah. You all can get back to the quarters. Bird, you make it first, obviously. There's your quarters. And I didn't re-upload that map. But your quarters have that sort of same common room. There's 2 tables, some rugs and some seating areas and some bookshelves. And then each of you sort of has a room with 2 doors on the 3 sides that doesn't have the entry door. Are you going straight into your room, Bird?
Yeah, I think considering the fact that I'm bleeding everywhere and probably don't want to inform the world that I don't explain it, what happened. So I'll probably go back to my room and start ripping up some blankets to cover up.
Yeah. There's some extra linens and things that have been
Yeah.
left sort of on chairs. And you can absolutely do that. The Granite Breaker brothers go back to theirs. They didn't get hurt, but they were certainly a little adrenaline fueled.
Yeah.
And you see that Sabrina, the acrobat, and Aravin's doors are closed. So
that makes
you're
things easier.
good to get in without anyone spotting you. You can start bandaging yourself up, and then Neve and Premac, you make it back. Dove, did you close the door?
Yeah, probably considering, but
Okay.
I mean, it's not locked. I don't think.
Yeah.
I feel like Neve would just immediately go to Dove's door no matter what and just...
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Open the door. It's all right. You can come in.
I found stuff.
Oh,
So
good. Stuff? What? Oh, what did you like?
Well,
Stuff?
Like the Archmage's tower. You know, that was the tower. They just, like the top room, they just left it. All his shit was just still up there. So I found some magical things.
Oh,
I don't really
you
know what they are, but I grabbed them.
You just stole a bunch of stuff from
Yep.
the Archmage.
No one had been up there in years. There's no Archmage here. He got fired, remember?
Yes. Wait. When did
And-
he got?
Long gone.
Long gone. No one had been up there in years, I swear. It was so fucking
he-
dusty.
Did the Archmage get fired years ago?
About 20 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So Ren was the helper of
The High
Archmage?
Priest.
High Priest.
Um,
Okay, for some
who
reason I was thinking
replaced-
Archmage, then I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
Replaced.
the Archmage used to be the guy who was like, sort of like the main advisor to
Okay.
the King and Queens. But when magic became less popular in Silvar, because it mainly
Okay.
became human focused, the High Priest sort of stepped up and was like, "Ah, yes,
Got
you
it.
don't need magic anymore.
Okay.
You can come to me."
Got it.
But you all know that guy died.
Yes. Okay, cool. Oh,
Right.
well, I mean, I guess if it's been that long, who's really... And they haven't touched it since, that's very good. So, yes, we can look at it, but I will just mention, the point of going up to the tower was to go find the thing, and I must say I'm incredibly frustrated, and I don't know what's come over me. but I swear I felt something there, but there was nothing there. It was like when you know you need to do something, but you can't remember what it was you needed to do. Or like when you have a dream and you forget the dream, but you know you had it. I know there was something there, I just cannot remember. Or there's nothing, or I don't know.
I dislike that feeling immensely, and I continue to have it. I also had that feeling while I was up there. Not exactly, but I was telling Neve, my hand began to burn while I was up there, and I know the name of it, but I can't remember. And it's just like I know that there's something there, and I can't quite place it. You were acting very oddly. I was watching from the window. You seemed to be convinced there was something there. I didn't see anything though.
Because it seemed like there must have been. It felt like there was, but there wasn't at the same time. I got frustrated, so I left because of the sounds of the soldiers coming up. Did you see them?
The guard?
The guard. Unless the one guard had very loud feet. It was, I think, more than one. Maybe the other one went up.
No,
Did you encounter them when you went up?
Oh, I was in the room.
You're in the room.
There was only one. I cast fairy fire for you. Again,
yes, no. I remember you casting fairy fire. I thought I heard.
I went invisible again, and I hid in the room while the guard came up.
And then you came back as that guard later.
I did, yes, that's right.
Yes,
because my
that's the
invisibility
guard that
went
was
down.
there. Yes.
Oh, that was you. Oh. You know, maybe I'm just out of it for the night. I'm not great at remembering things. I guess maybe it was one. Maybe the footsteps were yours. I'm not sure. But I thought I heard.
I'm much too quiet for that.
Oh.
You did not. You would not have heard me on the stairs.
I heard something. I might be.
I mean, the guard did come up. I heard the guard come up. And that's why I did invisibility and went and hid in the room.
Maybe the footsteps were the thing that was there, but wasn't there. I don't know.
Why do you think there was something else there?
Because, you know, the detection of creatures that I'm able to do. I commune with I can sense the enemies that I am best at hunting, and since we've been doing a lot of studying into the aberration monsters, I have since begun to be able to sense them, and I feel like I sensed one up there, and it was the kind of thing where I could feel it like right behind me, but I could not see it, and it wasn't there.
Did you maybe get the location wrong? Like, you know, you're on the 4th floor, maybe it was on the 5th floor for some reason, or the 3rd, and it was just like on the ceiling, or I don't know.
I feel it. I felt it. Maybe I got it wrong. I'm not sure. I probably should not have gone out after such a battle, but I couldn't. I'm not sure. I feel it was there, but it wasn't. Maybe we can go again when we are further rested. Did you sense anything? Did you see anything? Anyone? Nothing? No.
Hey.
No, just the guard and the magic in the Archmage Tower.
It just doesn't feel right. I'm good at tracking. It's just not. Whatever.
I mean, to be fair, Premax's thing burning is not good. I don't.
Can you help me remember the last time it burned like that? I feel like it was in the forest when it first happened.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Okay, Premax, I took a memory of yours, and I locked it away for safekeeping because it was kind of driving you nuts. So I did that.
Remind me about that again, because that feels a little foggy. You cut into my brain in some way.
I used magic to look at your memories and hide one of them until a certain point. And the certain point was when you saw the Forgotten Devourer, which is this thing on your palm. When you saw this again, you would remember it all. That's the only trigger I put in. So, your hand burning, I don't know what that means.
Right, but one thing, sorry, that's crazy, but it's a Forgotten Devourer, right? Maybe it devoured, maybe I saw it, but it took it away. Maybe it devoured my seeing of it. Because I feel it was there.
I do magic that makes people forget.
Can you go? Can you see? Can you check? Can you check my head?
Not tonight. I don't have any spells left.
Oh, well, I may pass out at any moment, so I don't blame you. But could you do tomorrow? Yes.
Tomorrow I could try maybe. I've never done a remembering spell. I just make people forget. But
well, yes.
I mean,
I
we
trust
could try it.
I feel that your magic is stronger than it's ever been, and I mean, of all people, I feel you'd know my mind decently well.
Neve suddenly starts looking weepy.
Oh my. It's. I think that you could. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm really good. I'm great.
You know, even with. I feel like I'm not even gonna roll an insight check. She has no idea what's going on. Okay. I was like, would I roll one? I feel like even with one, wouldn't be able to figure it out. Not very good at this. Okay. Well, you know you're tired. Maybe we can get you a blanket or something. If you you can have this. I give you like a half-ripped blanket. Maybe
just take it and hold it.
Okay. She just kind of unconsciously moves a little closer and puts a hand on Neve's shoulder. Okay, how about we wait, have a nice rest, wait until tomorrow. We can look at very good finding all of those items. We can look through them tomorrow when you have the ability to check them over. They could be dangerous, we never know. Don't want to.
Oh, I found really quick before we do this. I found a bag of holding.
Ooh.
And I'm just gonna turn it inside out. I can't wait.
Oh my! Oh my! In my room.
In it out.
I like it.
Yeah.
Should be cut there.
You just dump.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you dump it out. You shake it a few times, and you suddenly get yanked forward as something rather large hits the opening, and sort of it's heavy. A couple things fall out, like some books fall out, some clothing falls out. You hear a jingle and then a cool as like chainmail falls out of it, and then you get yanked forward, and you can sort of feel under it. It's like almost like there's a spear in there that tried to come out horizontally. And it's like there's some stuff back behind it. It feels like some papers and some books and some sacks. But you'd have to like actually maneuver the bag a little bit better to get everything out of it.
I'm fully just sitting here like shaking it and like getting like pages or whatever like random detritus to continue to fall out, even though the majority of it is not.
Yeah, you could try and like reach in and move the spear if you wanted.
Do you need any help?
Yeah. Sure. Can you like reach in and start, getting stuff out?
I'll get under and try to grab onto it and try to push it if I can see it and get it.
Yeah,
you're
just trying
to
push back.
Hovering around and being like, oh no.
You grab the spear, you sort of try and maneuver it down and yank it sort of out, and then like a load of stuff comes out. It looks like a load of junk. There's some books, there's some tools. It looks like a couple different thieves' tools fall out. A couple pieces of jewelry that look, you'd have to investigate it a little bit more. Multiple satchels filled with something. One very smelly one comes out that probably had food in it at one point, and now it smells real gross. And yeah, it seems like someone's personal items are in here. And then it sort of just stops. There's still some like weight to the bag, but it feels like anything else in the bag of holding, you're gonna need to specifically like reach in and try and grab more stuff. Dumping it will only get the sort of like junk. Basically, as you're dumping it out, you're sort of thinking about like what would be in a bag, and the bag is giving you everything of just like what you basically expect.
Gotcha.
And you'd have to do a little bit more in-depth investigation for the most stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. I know there is a way raw to just like turn it inside out and just have everything just like get out of the bag.
Really?
I think.
You can do that. You know that if you don't have the space for it, that might turn out to be very bad for you, because it will all come out.
I am also saying, like, I know this is raw, you are GM here, so you can tell me that this bag works differently, and that's totally fine. That is what Neve was intending to do, was just, like, everything in it out.
Yeah.
But
sure. I will say, yes, you can absolutely do that. You can get it inside out. I will say at the bottom of the bag, when you get like the spear out and like it looks like someone's personal items has come out. Like a couple books, some journals fall out, pens, all that, all the junk comes out. It doesn't feel like a full 500 pounds. And as you push out, you see, as you like flip the bag back over, still inside out, there's like a little tear at the bottom of the bag and like the lining. But now that it's inside out, it just looks like a bag.
Interesting. Okay.
Man.
So does it seem like there's more stuff in the tear?
Are you gonna do anything with the tear?
I'll look inside and see if I can like see. I know the.
Careful with that. Don't make it any worse.
I mean, I know that looking into the bag was just like an empty void, so I'm curious if it gives any sign of being like more space than there should be, a continuation of whatever dimension was inside the.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, 6.
It looks pretty inky dark and inside the tear.
Okay.
It looks like something has sort of maybe gone a little bit wrong with this old bag of holding, and some stuff may have slipped into that tear.
Pramac, are you work with magic items, don't you?
I have many times. Most often, I work with the material before it is magical, but I certainly have done repairs on magical.
Well, can you just look? I feel like you would be more prepared to look at this than I would.
Yeah, I would take a look, and I'd like to take a look and see, like, is this an intentional rip? Is this something someone put here? Can I tell if it was made accidentally? If it was pierced from the inside of the bag, like something that someone put an object in and somehow it pierced, or it was something somehow on some other plane of existence pierced into the bag from the outside? Is the tear widening? Like, that's what I'm looking for.
Give me an investigation or arcana.
Well, investigation is what I'm good at.
Bird is gonna
not with the
go
2
over
though.
to her
8.
bed and lay down and watch from the bed.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on.
2 plus 6,
assist?
8.
You can assist, yeah. So roll one more time.
7 plus 6 is 13.
13. With the 13, you generally know that bags of holding don't normally rip. It takes something for them to rip. With a 13, you can't really tell the direction in which this rip happened. If it was like something damaged it as they were putting it in the bag, or if it got overloaded, like if someone tried to put more stuff than is supposed to go in a bag of holding, and like the bottom of it sort of ripped out and things just started leaking into whatever plane of existence the bags of holding have. But it does look like you know that this is not common for this to happen. but that there are a couple different explanations for it, and you can't really pinpoint one specifically based on this investigation. You have worked with magical items before, but you generally don't do the enchantment of the magical items.
No.
So you could always try and find another artificer and ask them, or and try to give them what, and you'd be giving them the help action by being like, I know this about this, I know about the construction of this, can you help me with the magic part, to get a little bit more information.
Okay. Yes, what we have here, that is a tear. It is damaged. It's a little outside my skill set at the moment. I apologize. But the craftsmanship is very good. I'm surprised it's been torn like this. It's not common.
Interesting. I wonder if there's more things in there.
I would suggest an artificer of some sort might have more information, but certainly one that if you're concerned that there may be other items in there, perhaps one that you trust. Who knows what could be in there?
Yes. Okay, well, we can go through all this stuff tomorrow. I desperately needed to know what was in it, so I'm good now. We can sleep.
Very good. Very good. Yes. Tomorrow we can discuss all of this. We also need to know Tristan should be by, and so will Ren. So we should meet up before they come so we can explain what we are going to say to them. At least to Ren, for now.
Do you think maybe we should all just sleep here? In one room? Just because there is this strange... potentially an aberration out there.
It's not a terrible idea.
Dove kind of just rubs her eyes and just like... she just, not saying anything, walks out. You wait for a few moments, then she comes back carrying a bed over her head. She like tilts through the thing, plops it down beside hers and pushes them together. So there's like one long, like wide bed. All right.
One big bed.
Yeah, one big bed.
Big bed.
And just again gets in. All right. The birds like cover her like they normally do.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep now.
Do you want to get your tub, Premac?
Yeah,
Or
I was gonna say, is
there like a
it late?
bathroom?
Is it really quiet at this point?
Yeah.
Like, is it,
I just walked through the halls. I just pulled the bed out and walked through carrying that. So whatever noise that made.
Yeah, so Primac's gonna just kind of tiptoe out really quietly to not wake everyone else in all the rooms, and then go find his iron tub in his room, and then just start shoving it across the floor.
Okay,
all
never
the way
mind.
into the room.
Dove's not gonna sleep if that's happening. She'll come and help. She'll pick up the other side.
You've just like kind of
Grooves
watched
in the floor.
Yeah. Absolutely, you could do that. You get like a Raven's door opens and he just pokes his head out and he's like,
Only room for one this evening. I apologize.
you just hear him go, I don't care. Close the door. Like Sabrina pokes her head out and does not know about the tub and is like, I don't want to know. Closes her door and yeah, you can get it in Bird's room and you guys can sleep.
Just before we pass out, Neve kind of like curls up on the bed next to Dove, and like as they're falling asleep, she pokes Dove's shoulder.
Yeah. Yes.
If you had memory magic, I would trust you to go muck around in my head too. Good night.
Oh.
That's it.
Okay. Good night.
I'm going to let you all long rest. Before, and we're going to take a short break here for a moment. before we take that break and you long rest, can everyone give me an intelligence saving throw?
Oh no.
If you insist.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a 17.
Ooh.
I rolled really well.
Mm-hmm.
An
So
8.
did I. 18.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that.
Oh no, Premac, you're so good at being smart though.
Yeah.
Plus
As
3.
you all fall asleep, I will say, Neve and Bird, you hear, as you're falling asleep, it doesn't make you concerned at all, because you hear sort of palace noise, even in the night of guards moving and things. You hear a little bit like someone's walking, because I think Bird's room is the closest to the main door, so it shares the wall with the hallway. As you're falling asleep, you sort of hear someone walking down the hallway, sort of at a leisurely pace, and it sounds like they're singing something. And you can hear the singing, and then it's like your brain can't hold on to it for long enough, and you fall asleep.
Is it the break time song?
It doesn't have a tune. Like you have melodies that you sing to the birds for various communication, and this is sort of like someone's purposefully trying to not have a melody, and it's just weird. But otherwise,
Okay. Yeah, I just roll over and grab my giant teddy bear that's sleeping with me apparently.
yes.
Forget.
And like you hear nothing else. Premac, you hear none of this. You're out. You're in the tub. The iron is blocking it, and you've had a day. And you can all long rest, and we'll take a 10-minute break.
My hit points.
Okay. Yes, you can get your hit points back.
My spells.
So they're gonna long rest. We're gonna do a brief break. Go drink some water, and we'll see you in 10 minutes.
See you soon.
Yes.
welcome back from break. I hope you stretched your legs, went to the bathroom, got hydrated, and with that, let's just jump right back into it. You have taken your long rest. Neve
yeah.
and Bird have heard that a little something weird down the hallway, but not that night's problem. Premac, I need you to describe for me what's Premac's sleep like this evening.
Premac, it was a tough day. Premac was knocked unconscious. Premac was taken over. His brain was muddled with by Mr. Wormman. And then he had weird worms enter in under his scales. He had a rough day. On top of that, at the end of the day, he had that burning thing on his hand, in which he also suddenly couldn't remember what happened with his hand, and then was suddenly reminded that he'd had his brain muddled with, which somehow he had forgotten somehow. He goes to sleep troubled and bothered. And he has a restless sleep. He tosses, he turns. He would hear the scraping of his scales against this metal tub from time to time. He hasn't had time to fill it with any water, so it's not the most comfortable of sleeps for him. It's not his preferred sleep. So he has a restless sleep, tosses and turns, and he keeps having those dreams where he thinks he sees someone or thinks he hears someone and turns to look or turns to speak and can't hear them. They're never there. The words don't come to his mouth. It's like he feels like he's lost agency somehow, or that someone has taken agency from him.
This sort of unsettled sleep that you're having, it certainly could probably be a little bit more restful. And as you're dreaming, whatever it is that Premac might be dreaming, there's a constant sort of like pull at the corner of your eyes in the dream, and almost like it's like someone's calling your name or calling out to you, but when you turn around, nothing's there. And by the time you wake up in the morning, your hand feels hot, like it was burning before, but it's not as painful this time. It just feels like a dull ache when you wake up in the morning. And you get the sense that, like, I feel weird, not great sleep. And that sort of nagging feeling that, like, man, did someone need me? And you have to sort of like shrug it off and check your surroundings once you wake up, because you're also waking up in an unfamiliar place. Because these are not your quarters. But yeah, your morning, I think all of you are woken up probably by the knock on the door. That is, you probably assume to be Tristan, on Bird's door.
As Premac is waking up, he's divested himself of all of his cloaks and clothing and capes and everything as kind of like almost like a nest in lieu of water in the tub, and has kind of there. And as he's waking up and he's kind of realizing, okay, this is where I am, and he sees the mark on his hand to remind himself. He also looks down and is reminded that he has a mark on his chest that was also not there more than a few weeks ago. Very different from not from the mark on his hand, but that when he was impacted by that other energy, that there's also some sort of mark on his chest, and just this feeling of, again, this feeling of like, I am in control. I am in control. Premac, you are in control. And then as the knock comes, starts to quickly put things on while he's in the tub, wrapping things around.
Yeah. There's a knock on your door.
Roll over Oof, sorry. Okay. Roll out. Just a moment. Who's at the door?
It's me, it's Tristan, and there's a girl here. What you hear like mumbling behind the door? Ren.
Oh no, both of them. Gosh. Okay. I grab I reach around, find like a cloth of some sort, and just like, okay. Right. Straighten my. Still wearing the same bloodied clothes. Very good. Open the door. Hello. Could you give us a few moments? The rest of the party is waking up. We will.
Still naked.
Yes, we're all naked. You
Okay.
Could you?
Is this like pushes Ren back as he like backs away from the door? He's like, okay.
Go to the seating area in the corner and wait a moment.
Yeah, he like stumbles that way, and Ren is sort of like, this is the weirdest morning. And they'll sit.
Like peeked out, clearly wearing a shirt. We're all naked.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few moments. What are we? They're both here. What are we telling Ren? And well, Tristan. I guess we can tell Tristan. He's kind of a little bit too far into it all already.
Neva's like, once Dove got up, Neva, it's still in the form of mannequin, has just like pulled her tail over her face and is just like going back to sleep.
No. Dove just walks over and shoop, like forklift scoop. Places down. All right, we need to go do this. We have to go be professionals and help these young people.
I have a few questions for Tristan, but perhaps Tristan may know an artificer in the castle who we could speak to about the bag of holding. But
Yes.
What exactly are we bothering Ren about? My recollection of last night is slightly foggy.
No problem.
Worms.
Ren is coming to speak to us because I tried to speak to her. She has forgotten all about the arch religious man, the holy sir that she was under. His death. She was very sad about it the first time I met her. Now she seems to have forgotten the whole thing. And also, she was obviously there during the whole Mr. Wormman problem, and she would like an explanation as to what that was about. So we need to say something.
Oh, well, to be fair, we don't really know what that was about.
No, we don't. I think it's more we discuss it with her and try to set her mind at ease. And, you were going to check her mind for any recollections or changes.
Right, I was going to try to... Yes, okay.
Because something
Yeah,
must have been
okay.
changed for her to have forgotten.
I definitely agree. I'm just woke up.
Yes, of course. What time is it? I open the window. Is it very bright? What time is it? If I look out the window, where's the sun?
It is definitely just a little past dawn. Tristan clearly was a little overeager.
Got it. Great.
Checks
We
out.
have slept very few hours. We're all very out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. We could probably ask Ren to come back later if you want to do the mind. You should probably be fully woken up and maybe have some food.
Let's go, start this conversation, get some breakfast, and I'll get there. It'll be fine.
Very good. Okay. Everyone ready?
Yes.
I do the height before performance, like 1, 2, 3, yes. Open the door. Yeah. Oh. Need to work on that one.
You amp yourself up, open the door, and Tristan is clearly sitting with like his back to the door, like hunched over, and like I didn't want to I didn't see anything.
Okay,
You saw
you
it, right?
too.
And they like both look up, and Ren is like, just pointing at Tristan, like, is he okay?
He's fine. Where is breakfast? Where can we find breakfast?
Oh, Ren sort of like hold a hand up. Oh, that's probably you can go to the Great Hall and get breakfast with people sort of filter in. You can grab
What
it.
about like just the five of us, quick meal, we can sit down and talk about some things.
Like over breakfast?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
You could just grab the
Perhaps.
food from downstairs and bring it up.
Yes, we'll do that. We're gonna do that.
Why don't I
Okay.
go? Why don't I collect the breakfast? I will bring it back. Perhaps you seem more, the two of you would probably be better for this conversations anyways.
Sure, that would be great.
Maybe just do a quick question. Just if anyone's around, ask them how the kitchens are doing. We kind of may have messed things up there a little, and hopefully they cleared it up.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no,
will be
it's clean
very
up.
direct. I mean discreet.
Okay. It's cleaned up, Ren.
Yeah, she nods and she's like, no, I made sure. I grabbed one of my friends and we went and cleaned up. It mainly looks like I may have told everyone that you and the two dwarves may have celebrated a little too hard yet last night.
It sounds like a great story.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
Let's like look back in Dove's room and it's just like filled with piles of junk.
Yeah.
Why don't we go over to my room and pull up some chairs and let's sit and have a chat.
They'll both like look at each other and then
Okay.
back at you and nod.
All right. Dove, you had questions for Tristan?
Yes. I'm assuming Primac can we'll say goodbye to you, and
Yeah, I'll head
go
off.
to-
Yeah.
Yes. I would like to wait until we're in a private area before questions for Tristan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you all leave and Primac goes to get food and Tristan and Ren sort of shuffle in to Neve's room.
Yes. So you were meant to look around and find some information about the next trial that is ahead. We have some theories, but I'm sure you were able to find something.
Oh, yes. They've brought in more workers, which is strange. But it seems like they have been sending off some materials to the beach that's off the right on the coast. There's they used two of Lisa's mages who went with them. They seem to be building something out there. That's really all I've heard, and there was like some grumbling about whoever it is that they have that's going to be hired for this trial. They don't seem to like whoever it was that came through while we were gone.
I see. Someone is going to be hired to host the trial or be the master of ceremonies?
Well, I think the master of ceremonies is still Lord Nolan, but it seems like I heard some grumbling about why hire entertainers if they're just going to put on this game. So I don't know if it's going to be very serious. It seems like there's a game, a play. I'm not sure.
I see.
But they're building something down on the beach, and
Is it not prohibited to go down to the beach if we wanted to go look and see what was going on? What is that?
the gods have been told to not go down there or mess with whatever's happening. They're doing something magical because no one can see what it is they're building. Like, you should be able to look at the tower and see it, but you can't right now. I'm sure they have some sort of grand reveal planned.
Interesting.
I think you might want to talk to, Lord Nolan may be able to tell you more, or the quartermaster. He probably did some of the coordination while Lord Nolan was gone. That's
right.
But there seems to be some
Yes.
grumbling about the castle. Apparently, they didn't like whoever Lord Nolan had hired.
Okay, well, that's quite good information. We speak to Lord Nolan, the quartermaster, as you said, to ask further information, and maybe we can try to make our way down to the beach to see what's going on about there. Do you happen to know what the prince and princess are up to in their first few days back?
I mean, it's the morning that you're back, so
Yes.
I don't know
Yes.
their schedules yet.
No.
I can ask. I probably should also put in my resignation with the guards on Duke Uller, and we can go from there.
Yes, I mean, probably don't put in your resignation until after you've figured out the schedule and what they're going to be up to, and then you can go ahead and do that. I also, well, we're going to be here for the next 2 to 3 trials, so if you want to spend some time wrapping up your things, you have time. But once we are finished with the trials, I'm assuming we'll have to talk to you about this, but probably going back into the forest, setting up shop there, I believe. It's up for discussion.
Okay, I will ask around and try and find the schedules today, and probably tomorrow morning I will go and tell the Duke that I'm quitting.
It's very good.
It'll be a fun conversation. To go become a assistant. Okay, I'll figure out a nicer way of saying it to the Duke.
An apprentice. You're taking an apprenticeship.
Yes, that sounds much better. Much better.
There you go.
Yes, I will tell him that I'm becoming your apprentice. It will be fine. It'll be good.
Yes, I am very much looking forward to it, Tristan, and you've done very well so far. Keep yourself safe. As we did have a bit of a scuffle last evening. There seemed to be a strange creature that came in to the kitchens. We are fine. Just keep your eye out for anything strange.
Okay, should I warn anyone about a creature?
I don't think it'll really do too much.
The creature's dead, so
Yes, we killed it. It's all right.
Okay.
it's dead.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes, we killed it and its minions, and so it should be. I don't expect any further major problems, but just keep your eyes out.
Can you do a deception check? Because I think that might be a lie.
Did we not kill?
You killed the creatures, but you also had that very frustrating moment of feeling aberrations and not finding them.
Yeah.
You do remember
Does she
that?
get advantage because I've been a part of the conversation?
Yes, you can have advantage.
Okay, I'm not super good at it, but we'll see. Oh, I got a 3 and a nat 20.
Oh,
So
yeah,
20.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Tristan has utter
That's very
faith and trust in you.
Yes.
Whatever you're going to say to Tristan in this moment, he's going to believe.
And I'll really lay on the praise and the reassurance and really hope for the future. That's what we're thinking of.
He is looking like his shoulders are back. He looks far more excited than he has been in quite a few days after the trial. And he sort of nods at you and then looks at Ren and is like, should I go and do I'll find out the royal schedules.
I believe that sounds very good. I'm gonna grab the emotional support bird that I gave to Ren and take it back. Because she's had enough time.
No more
with it.
bird for you.
No, I'm gonna take that back. And then I'm also going to look into my collection and find one of the birds that is a slightly difficult personality. I will find that one. And I will pass that over to Tristan. You may keep this bird for 3 days. Would like to see how you do in taking care of your first bird, seeing as you will be working with them quite a bit.
Absolutely. It is a very awkward-looking crow. That's like a little too small for a crow. It kind of looks
too intelligent for its own good.
Yeah, like it's making a lot of direct eye contact with Tristan, and he's a little intimidated by this. And it's like caws are a little too, they like croak, and he's like, right? Okay. Does it have a name?
Yes. This one's name is Anis.
Annis. Okay. Well, and he like moves the crow to his shoulder and is like, okay, and awkwardly starts shuffling out of the room, leaving you with Red.
I realized that sounded like anus. It's Anis, like aniseeds.
Annis. Yes.
Yes.
Annis.
Just to let everyone who's listening know. They taste kind of like black licorice.
Yes.
There we are.
Annis.
Yes.
Ah.
I did not name the difficult bird anus. I didn't.
That was a pain
I
in the
definitely
ass.
thought about it.
Yeah. I just wanted to clear it up. I
Yeah.
only
Totally
heard
fine.
myself afterwards. Okay. One down.
Okay, Ren. I'm
Yes.
not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna cast Dispel Magic and see if I can remove whatever's altering her memory.
I will say you will cast Dispel Magic, and she like kind of is taken aback and looks at you and is like, "What? Did you just cast a spell on me?"
How do you feel about the High Priest?
Who? What? We don't have a high priest.
Cool. Okay.
You mean the keeper?
wait. The who?
The keeper of Tyrna. He arrived just after you left. He's officiating the wedding.
No, I'm talking about the
No.
High Priest.
Silvar doesn't have a high priest. We haven't had one for 20 years.
Still worried.
No, you do have a High Priest. You did. And he died very recently.
Is this like a bit? Are you practicing
No,
for
it
a
isn't
play?
actually. This is a very serious thing, and you seem to have forgotten about it. Something's going on.
Okay, take into consideration, Ren. Last night we fought a bunch of crazy worm things, right?
Oh yes.
They have something to do with this. Is it really that far out of the possibility that you have some kind of alteration in your memory at the same time?
But I remember the worms.
Yeah, no, it's the thing where crazy things are happening. Crazier things have happened before, and those crazy things have been wiped from your.
But how would I
recollection.
know if they were wiped from my mind?
We know because
See,
we remember the High
know,
Priest.
because we remember. We were not present when the memory wiping occurred. So we remember.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check. Both of you.
Can I give help to?
Yes, you can give help.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's 2 3s for an 11.
Okay.
Oh.
For an 11, she sort of looks at you and is like, "Oh, okay. So you're saying there's a high priest no one's ever heard of, that it just died. That
Ren,
I'll go with a bit, but
can you tell me about your past?
about
Tell me
Like
about
where
yourself.
you where you grew up?
well, I grew up in a village, just outside of the city, and then I came to train in the palace as a maid, and like I work in the kitchens, and
You've always been a maid the whole time. You've never done anything else.
no,
What other skill sets do you think you could have?
skill sets.
Yes. What are you? How are you at just outside a game as the apprentice to the high priest? What kind of
Well, she was
would
the
I
high
know what
priest's
kind of things she would do?
ward.
Yeah,
No, she
Right.
wasn't the
right.
apprentice. She was
Ward.
like daughter figure, would have probably been.
Okay.
He would have taught her some things, but not.
So, but as a ward, would she have been here since she was a child, essentially?
Yeah, she would have moved when she was about 10.
Okay.
When did you move here, Ren?
Oh, I That's funny. I don't remember. I must have been young.
Who took care of you if you were so young?
She has like a deep frown on her face, and she's like, I assume the the cook.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would the cook?
I
Are you very close with the cook? Do you have memories of the two of you spending time together as a small child?
no. I don't. But that's normal, right?
No,
we
it's
don't
not.
people don't
Usually
remember
you
their
remember your
childhood.
caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't.
And is it possible you could possibly not remember other things?
It seems like a pretty important one to forget.
But why would I have forgotten?
There's magic out there that can make you forget.
There's something going on in the castle, and it has to do with the fact that there are monsters appearing. Last night we had tried to investigate that further. We went into a tower, and there was a monster that was there but not there. And I believe your memories are there but not there. They used to be, but now they've been taken from you. We'd like to try to help you get them back.
Ren she's like kind of clenching and unclenching her fists. She feels deeply uncomfortable. And as you offer to help get them back, that is where we're gonna end for tonight.
Oh wait, can Prima come back with some food?
Yeah, there's like an emotional moment as like, we're gonna help you get them back, and like there would have been the like heroic music happening, and then the door opens with Premac and food.
Well, I will say, Premac has some ulterior motives with going to go get food.
Well, that is probably where we will pick back up next time. Premac's ulterior motives.
Yes.
Find out next time on Cordially Invited.
Yes. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us as we have premiered this episode. We will probably make a post on our socials about the next time that we are live. Probably, well, check our Discord, which you should join and be friends with us. Check our Twitter. And of course, if you're not subscribed, you should be subscribed so that you get notifications when we go live. So yeah, check our socials for our next stream date, probably in about 2 weeks. And otherwise, this has been fun. A little bit of a change from everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, have a lovely rest of your July. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you later. Au revoir. A bientôt.